To insert a document in a MongoDB database using mongosh, you can use the command insertOne and pass the document as parameter. But if you want to insert multiple documents in one go, you can use the insertMany command and pass an array of documents as parameter. In this video, I'll briefly explain how those two commands work, and after that, I'll demonstrate using mongosh and the graphical interface MongoDB Compass to illustrate some edge cases when inserting documents. The two commands are very similar. They both start with db, followed by the name of the collection. In our example, we'll use the user's collection, then the function name and the parameter. InsertOne takes a single document as parameter, and insertMany takes a list of documents as parameter. Let's start with the insertOne command, and let's say that we want to add the user Alice to the user's collection. We simply pass a document with the username property as the parameter to the insertOne function, and when we run the command, the new document will be added to the collection. MongoDB will take care of adding a unique identifier to the newly created document. But if we want to use our own custom identifier, we can add an ID property to the document we pass as parameter. And when we run the command, MongoDB will add the document and it will use the ID we've provided. We can pass a string or even a number, but the only constraint is that the ID must be unique. Now let's have a look at the insertMany, and this time we will pass multiple documents as parameter. For example, if we pass two documents, one for the user Alice and the other for the user Bob, when we run the command, MongoDB will add the two documents. It will take care of generating unique identifiers for documents for which we didn't pass an ID. Now that you know all about the theory, we can move on to the demonstration, and I'll show you some edge cases and some common mistakes to avoid. This video is part of a series based on a roadmap that can take you from a beginner to an expert. And if you enjoyed the video and want to join the journey to become an expert, feel free to like and subscribe. It will make my day to know that I've been able to help you, and it will motivate me to make even more videos like this one. So now let's open MongoDB Compass and connect to a local server. So I'll put a link in the description for the videos on how to install and run a local MongoDB server. So MongoDB Compass comes with an integrated mongosh terminal, so that's what we're going to use in this demonstration. And by default, the test database is selected. So I'm going to switch to the MyApp database by using the useMyApp command. If we look at the MyApp database, we can see that there is no users collection. But if I run the command db.collection.insertOne and pass the document with the username property Alice as a parameter, even if the collection users doesn't exist yet, MongoDB will create that collection before adding the new document to it. So let's run the command and let's refresh the view, and now we have the users collection in the list. And if I select the users collection, we can see that we have a document for the user Alice. And that document has a unique identifier generated by MongoDB. Let's clear the console with the command cls and increase the console size to have a little bit more space to work with. Now let's insert a document for the user Bob, but this time we'll pass an identifier. We'll pass an ID. Let's use the number 1 as the ID. If I refresh the collection view, we can now see two documents, and the document for Bob has the number 1 as an identifier. Now let's try to add a document for the user Mark using the same ID to see what will happen. Let's run the command for the user Mark, and as expected, MongoDB returns a duplicate key error, and that's because two documents in the same collection can't have the same identifier. However, two documents in separate collections can have the same ID. I'll run the same command again, but this time I'll use the string 1. And this time MongoDB will accept the command and insert a new document, and that's because the number 1 is different from the string 1. For two values to be considered the same, they must be of the same type. In most use cases, it makes sense to let MongoDB handle the ID generation and keep things simple. Now let's use the insertMany command to insert multiple documents simultaneously. And this time we'll add an array of document as parameter. For the user Leo, I can add an extra property total episodes, and that's because no schema is enforced by default in MongoDB. Documents in the same collection can have different shapes, and if I want to, I can even remove the username property from that third document. And if I run the command, the 3 documents are inserted, and if I refresh the view, we can see that we now have 6 documents in the user's collection. And we have our document with the total episodes property and no username. Just a tiny detail about the syntax here. For the document property name, in some cases I've used quotes and in others I didn't. It doesn't really matter in mongosh. Both ways will be accepted, just like a JavaScript object. You can now watch this next episode to see how to make queries, and in the rest of the series we'll also work with more complex documents with embedded documents and array properties.